I want to preach on don't get stuck in a bubble. Don't get stuck in a bubble. I'm going to read to you that passage where Jesus fed 5,000 men and women and children. I like to imagine the Bible stories in different ways, as if they occurred in different times. It's helpful to me to set them in modern times. And I wanted to imagine this story today as if Jesus and the disciples lived during the time of text messaging. I want to talk about this thing. I call it the bubbles. The bubbles represent the space between when you receive a message and when you respond to a message. Communication has two elements: receive and respond, receive and respond, receive and respond. And the space between is called the bubbles. I believe our church today is in the bubbles. I thought, what are the bubbles that God's people get stuck in? They're all here in the passage, and the first one I thought about is the bubble called comfort. Because you can design a life that's meant to be comfortable and not have any comfort in your soul. You can chase all the comforts of this world and still feel so empty inside. Because the next bubble we get stuck in so often is a bubble called certainty. The opposite of faith is not doubt. The opposite of faith is certainty. Because if you've got it all figured out, you factor God out. So if you're ever living in a bubble where you've got it all figured out, guess what God will do? He will burst that bubble. Certainty is when I know because I've been here before and I've got this. Confidence is I don't got this at all, but I've got a God who's got this. I don't got this. I got a God who's got this. I will remain confident in this, that I will see the goodness of the Lord. And then there's the third bubble, calculation, where we want to be so logical and rational. And that's what this passage is about. It's about the miracle of multiplication. It's about how God can take a gift that you put in his hand, and here's why I call it multiplication. Because he'll use that gift to bless others. But then somehow, some way, he'll send you home with leftovers too. Because he is the bread of life. John chapter 6, he is the bread of life. So when you bring the bread to the bread, you go home with bread. You don't go home broke.